Our map's almost done, but we need to insert a north arrow and scale bar to orient our audience and give them a sense of distance. So on the insert ribbon and map surrounds, I'm going to click on the north arrow drop down, and I'm going to scroll down and find one that looks a little bit more piratey than our standard north arrows we use. That one's good. ArcGIS North 18. I'm going to click on that and then click and drag on my map where I want to place my north arrow. Make a rectangle, and that'll insert my north arrow. And then I can select it and reposition it as needed. You can see it listed over there in the contents pane as well. And then back on the map surrounds group on the insert ribbon, I'm going to click on the scale bar drop down and select stepped scale line. And below my north arrow, I'm going to insert a scale bar. And now I need to redesign my scale bar because my map scale is set to 1 inch equals 2,000 feet, but my scale bar is using miles and not the same intuitive divisional value. So with the scale bar selected either in the layout or in the contents pane, I'm going to go to the design ribbon. And the first thing I need to do is in the fitting strategy, I need to change the fitting strategy to adjust width, which will allow me to set the divisional value. But I don't want to set my divisional value just yet because I need to reset my units because my map scale is actually 1 inch equals 2,000 feet. So I'm going to switch my units from miles and scroll all the way to the top and set it to feet. And then now I'm going to set my divisional value to 2,000. That's good. I've got a little too many divisions and subdivisions. And so I'm going to knock down the divisions to 2 divisions and then 2 subdivisions. And so now I've got a map scale with an intuitive divisional value in unit, 1 inch equals 2,000 feet, that matches my map scale. So that's really great. Also want to update my font. So with the scale bar selected, I'm going to click on the scale bar ribbon and then the text symbol group, click on the font drop down and find a piratey script font. There's one, Blackadder ITC. I'm going to select that. Bump up my point size so that my text is more visible in my layout. All right, now I can reposition my elements by selecting them one at a time and repositioning them, or I can select multiple elements at the same time, then right click on the selected elements and select align and center. All right, I like how that looks. I'm gonna go back to the layout and zoom to my extent and save my ArcGIS Pro project. In task 4I, you're going to insert a title, subtitle, heading, rules, and source note. And again, we do that from the insert ribbon. So I'm going to click on the insert ribbon. And then in the graphics and text, I'm going to click on the straight text tool and then click on my map and drag a rectangle to insert that text. Now you can see it inserted over there in the contents pane. I'm going to rename it as title and then right click on the title and select properties so that I can update my text. So I'm going to replace the filler text with Neverland and then click just in the gray area and you can see it switch over to Neverland. Now, of course, I need to reformat my title. So with my title selected, I'm going to click on the text ribbon and in the text symbol group, I'm going to change the font. I'm going to use that same piratey script font, Blackadder ITC, and then I need to make it a little bit smaller too. So I'm going to change it from 222 to say a point size of 124. And then I'm repositioning that on my map using the context sensitive guides. Looks pretty good. Or I can right click on an element and select align and enable align to page and then right click on it again and select align center, and that centers it as well. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can reposition and center your elements in your layout. Now I need you to add a subtitle and heading, and I will rejoin you when we add the rules to our layout. All right, so we've added a subtitle and heading. Now we need to add the rules, and these are the rules from the very beginning of the project in Summary Task 1 when you created your game concept document. So I'm going to go to my Google Apps, select Google Docs, and locate my game concept document. Go ahead and click on the doc and open it. And I'm going to select my rules that are in 5 steps and under 100 words and copy the text. And then return to ArcGIS Pro. And then now on the insert ribbon under graphics and text, I'm going to use the insert text rectangle. So there it is right there, rectangle text. And I'm going to click and drag on my layout. And that creates a text with rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and rename that element in my contents pane. And then over in the rules pane, I'm going to insert my rules by pasting them in. And then I zoom down on it. You can see there are my rules. They look pretty good, but they could be formatted to make them a little bit easier to read. So I'm going to select them and then reformat them by adding a number for each of my 5 rules, along with a space after each rule. All right, a little bit more legible. I think I need to make them a little bit bigger as well. So I'm going to select my element and go to the text ribbon and bump up the point size, say, to 12, and then reposition them under the rules heading. Return to my layout and zoom to extent. All right, the last text item I need to add, the last detail for my map is my source note. And I'm going to add my source note in the lower left-hand corner. And so I'm going to go return to the insert ribbon, and in graphics and text, I'm going to click on the straight text tool and click and drag a rectangle. And that inserts my text element on my layout, but also list it in the contents pane. I'm going to go ahead and rename it as source note. And then with the source note selected over in the source note panel, I'm going to replace the holding text with my source note, which is source : space Walt Disney and Transogram Company, map created by Jane Doe for ACC Introduction to Geospatial Data on the date you created the map, period. All right, and when I click on the gray area, you can see it inserts my text, and then I need to select my source note, and again on the text ribbon, change the point size. And so it's low on the visual hierarchy, so I'm just going to make it a 10-point text. So it's readable, but kind of the last thing you see on the map. All right, now that it's repositioned, I think I'm good to go. I'm going to go ahead and again zoom to my extent. I'm going to review my map, make sure it looks the way that I want. I might have one of my classmates or my instructor look it over as well and give me a constructive critique, and then make any revisions that are necessary. When we turn in the map, you're going to turn in the project package, which includes your layout, but also your data. So in catalog, your geodatabase should be clean and named correctly, and it should include all the geodatabase objects as shown in this image and also in the statement of work. And once you've confirmed that your geodatabase and your layout are finalized, now you're ready to create a project package and archive your deliverables. So I'm going to click on the share ribbon, and in the package group, I'm going to click on the project button. That opens the package project pane. The first thing I need to do is under start packaging, change it to save package to file. So I save it locally on my computer. And then I'm going to click on browse where name is. I'm going to browse to my project folder. And then I'm going to name my project package, which is going to be the name plus appended to that is going to be the extension .ppkx. So I'm using the standardized naming convention as described in the statement of work, my year, name, and the name of the project using underscores. And then when I click save, if you look in the name field, you'll see it's saving it in my project folder, and it's got a PPKX extension. Also need to add a summary. So you can use your own words. You can see mine here, reconstructing Disney's Peter Pan board game in GIS using the data modeling process and ArcGIS Pro. I'm going to add a few tags or keywords to make it searchable, including Neverland, comma space, ACC, comma space GIS. And then I'm going to check share outside of organization, uncheck include toolboxes, and uncheck include history items. And then once I make sure my parameters are set correctly, I'm going to click on the Analyze button. If there's any warnings or errors, you might need to get with your instructor. But if you don't have any errors, you can go ahead and click Package. I need to save my project before it'll package it. And go ahead and package up your PPKX. All right, it'll take a few minutes. And then when it's done, you'll see that you've successfully created your project package. And then now I can either click on Manage the Package Hyperlink, or I can go to Windows Explorer and browse down to my course folder in my Modeling Neverland project folder. And there I can see, if I resize my window, I can see my final deliverable, which is my modelingneverland.ppkx, which is the ArcGIS Pro project package. And that's what you're going to turn into the course website by the project due date. All right, congratulations, you finished the Modeling Neverland project.